Hey everybody, check this one out. Okay, so we're asking this question: do people that are addicted give less value to proper natural rewards? So this is dog ownership. I'm going to put some links in the description because there is so much to talk about this. But let's do a little summary read. So people suffering from addiction generally assign less value to and gain less pleasure from natural rewards, such as food, social interaction, and sex. This phenomenon, called anhedonia, occurs because addictive substances massively overstimulate the brain's reward system. So this is modern dog ownership. People are obsessed with their dogs. They're obsessed with getting all of their human contact through the dog. Everything they post on social media, every little thing they do during the day has to include the dog. And they devalue humans. So like I asked up here, giving less value to proper natural rewards, that's a big part of addiction. And so the reason for this, it says, is the hijacked brain chemistry. Addiction creates a hypodopaminergic state, low dopamine, where the brain adapts by reducing dopamine production and receptor sensitivity, making natural rewards feel unrewarding. So I mean, think about how dog owners are. They give less and less attention to their humans, more and more attention to their dogs. And there's so many examples of this. Like, what examples have you guys seen of this where people will get all of their needs for companionship fulfilled by a dog instead of a human? Like guys that get a divorce, instead of saying like, "Well, I had a good run with that woman," they will say, "Well, I'm just going to get a dog and I'm never going to, have relationships anymore." And things like that. The wanting versus the liking distortion. The brain circuitry for wanting, craving, becomes hypersensitized, while the circuits for liking, pleasure, and natural rewards become blunted. Yeah, it's like dogs that our dog owners, they have to constantly have the dog there to get the pleasure. They want to know what's going on the dog. They want to do stuff for their dog. Their own food, their own sex, their own relationship isn't really that important because they're getting the dopamine from the dog and not from other things. I mean, just go over to like a dog owner's house and stand next to them and start talking to them. Likely, they're going to be staring down at the floor looking at their dog. What do you want, little doggy? What do you need, little doggy? Oh, it's just so and so come over to talk to me. Oh, it's just Bobby. It's just Ralphie. Settle down, buddy. They can't focus on you. They can't give their attention to you and get that beautiful human connection because they want to be with the dog more. And that's the pathological devaluation, as it says here. Addiction leads to measurable, severe disregard for to enjoy normal life, including personal relationships and hobbies. That's dog owners. The dog is more important. They'll worry about their dog, the neighbor's dog, a lost dog. They'll watch videos about supposed injustice of a dog that was shot by a police officer, but they won't call up their friend whose father died or mother died. They won't, go out in the world and try to help one of their fellow buddies. They'll be on the internet looking up stuff about dogs, donating to dogs, dumping money into dog shelters, but they'll disregard that all that pleasure and reward that they can get from being around a fellow human. Pathological devaluation. Yeah, read about that one if you get some time. Reversibility. According to the University of Pennsylvania, this desensitization is a temporary adaptation that can reverse over time when the individual stay away from the addictive substance. Yeah, I guess if you quit hanging out with dogs for a year or so, then you're going to have to get dopamine from your fellow humans. And that's why one of the things that I talk about on my channel is, make humanity great again. It's kind of a little poke at the Donald Trump presidency theme. But yeah, we have to make humans great again. That's why the only way to get out of this nasty dog culture is not to be hating people that are into dogs. It's to revalue humans. Because at the end of the day, that's what dog ownership does. It slowly but surely, like death by a thousand cuts, like it says up here, Pathological devaluation. Yeah. Research indicates that natural rewards can be used as therapeutic strategy to counteract addiction by gradually restoring the brain's sensitivity. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about with the make humanity great again. It kind of sounds like a funny little, one liner. But seriously, that's the only way to get people away from dogs is to revalue humans. Get humans connected to stuff that involves motion and contact and things that don't involve dogs all the time, like sports and bicycling and cooking for each other and doing all that kind of stuff. Massage, human contact, good conversation where you actually have a vocabulary instead of just bark, 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 bark all freaking day. Bark, 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 and then baby talking the dog. How can you develop a human language when you act like that? Yeah, so there it is, guys. Pathological devaluation. Look some of that stuff up, and you'll notice that what dog culture is all about. It's about devaluation of our proper human purpose to take care of ourselves and our fellow humans, and we've replaced that with a filthy beast that will never pay a tax. It will never build a house. A dog will never do anything back for society. It will just scavenge off of us and make us addicted to the reward that we get from allowing it to do that. See you guys in the next one.